Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm in the library today. I got some reading over some notes that I took and I need to revise some stuff. I got a big surprise for y'all. I'm going to tell y'all later on what I'm doing in the library today. So just stick around and watch the rest of the video. And as always, thanks for coming back. And if you're new here, hey, welcome. So, happy August and happy Tuesday. I just needed to come on here and talk to y'all real quick. So I thought I was recording earlier and I wasn't. I talked about 10 minutes and something said, check your phone, your camera, and see if you are recording, and I wasn't. So I got to start over. So what I wanted to say was I wanted to share my goals for the month of August, and let me get them out. I got like 3 journals and they're all for different things. But this is my main journal. And I switch journals every year. Like I don't keep using the same journal every year because I'm not the same person. And I no. Okay, so for August, the first thing that I wrote as my goal is I wanted to start forex trading because I already do options and I want to be able to trade in 2 markets. So I'm switching over to forex. I can use the same skills and like technical analysis in that I use in options. I could use it in forex, but I can't use the same platform. So where I could use TD Ameritrade, I could use Robinhood for options. I can't use Robinhood for Forex. So I have had to download another trading platform. And not only that, the platform looks so different than what I'm used to looking at. Hold on. Hmm. The platform looks so different from what I'm used to looking at, of course, because it's 2 different platforms. I have to trade. I have to get used to using that platform now. So, I'm going to take the next couple of days and just play around with the platform. Oh, and I'm out here at the Parthenon, is what it's called. Look at the Parthenon behind me. See it? I don't know why they decided to build a replica of the Parthenon right in the middle of the park in Nashville, but I love it and I've never been inside of it as many times as I've been here. I don't know why. It ain't never open. Um so yeah, that's my first one. My second goal for this month is to write to work on my book for an hour a day. And yes, I said work on my book. So I know I haven't told y'all this yet, but I am in the process of writing a book. I'm gonna write it. I'm going to publish an ebook in the next couple of months. And so my goal is to write an hour a day. And I'm already writing 2 hours a day, but my goal is a minimum of an hour a day. Because I might write 2 hours, 2 days in a row, and then the third day I might not write at all. So my minimum is an hour a day because I have a lot to bring out. When I think I'm done with one chapter, I'll get up and leave, and then I'll come back the next day and read over. And it's a lot more that I want to say. So I'm like, ugh. I got a lot to get out on these pages and out of my head before I can get to a play. Like I'm just laying down the foundation of it, like the skeleton of it. And I guess I'll go through and chop it up and figure out what I really want to say and what really don't need to be in there. But for now, I'm bringing everything out. So number 3 is to find a church, y'all. So tell me why last Sunday, when I said I was going to church Sunday and Wednesday on my last video, I put the church address in the GPS, and by the time I got in the car and got down the street, it kept buffering. So now I'm just with the flow of traffic, and then at a certain point, I'm gonna have to make a decision. Like, are you gonna get on the interstate? Are you gonna stay on the highway? Like, what are you gonna do? And so I just panicked and pulled over at the gas station. Like, why is my GPS not working? I use it every single day. So what is wrong today? Long story short, it just didn't work. Like, I reset my phone, I turned my phone off, turned it back on, I powered my phone off and powered it back on, went back in the app, it still was buffering. So I went to Google Maps because I always use Waze. I love Waze. I've been using Waze for years. Didn't work. Google Map was buffering, like the circle. I'm like, what in the world? I just used this app last night to go somewhere, y'all. So I'm sitting at the gas station looking crazy with my church clothes on. Time just a ticking. Church started at 11:15. Church is 25 minutes away from my house. And I don't have really time to be playing with like that. So I thought, well, I'll just run back to my house. Maybe I need to get on Wi-Fi. I don't know. I'm 5G in Nashville. So what is the problem? I get back to the house, get back to my apartment, and I can pull up my Wi-Fi from right there, and it still ain't working. I'm on Wi-Fi in the parking lot, and it's still buffering. So at this point, I done started crying. Because a couple of other things done happened during the week, and I think I'm just, pressure. I need to let some of that pressure off. So I got to open up the valve a little bit and let a little pressure off. So I start crying. I'm like, Lord, I just want to go to church. What is the problem? Like, why can't I go to church? I came on in the house, took my little church clothes off, and took a nap because I done cried myself to sleep. So Sunday come around. This past Sunday comes around. Today's Tuesday. I get up, get dressed, and I already got the GPS working. I done put the address in the app, and it is ready for me to get in the car and go. So I'm like, yes, I'm going to church today. Y'all, I get 25 minutes away from my house, and the lady say, your destination is on the left. I look to the left. I start laughing because it's a field over there. A field. I come to like a dead end. I either gotta go left or right, and it's a field over there. So I go left anyway, and I'm like, well, maybe it's a little further down the street. No, there's no church, y'all. So I pull Google up, type the church in again to make sure that I copied the address down correctly into the maps, and I did. I left Waze, went to Google Maps, typed the same address in, and it was like, yeah, you already here, baby. Destination on your left. I'm like, God. Like, okay, so now I just turned the car around and I'm going home. I'm angry this time. Last time I was crying. This time I'm mad. So I turned the car around and I'm ready to go home. I don't say nothing. I ain't talking to nothing. I ain't saying nothing. It's quiet in the car. I get all the way halfway home and I'm like, God, people get up every day and set out to do bad stuff. I got up for the last 2 Sundays and set out to go to church. And I did not make it to church. I was like, what is the problem? Is it another church you want me to go to? So I went in the house. I took my church clothes back off. I didn't go to church. It was like 11:45. Every church done started by now. So I gotta find a church, y'all. It's a goal of mine. I gotta start back going to the gym at 5 a.m. I need to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. I've only done that 3 times. And the rest of the time I just, no. 5 a.m. I am part of the 5 a.m. crew in my head, and they gonna revoke my membership if I don't get in the gym, be in the gym working out by 5 a.m. So that is a goal of mine, to be in the gym at 5 a.m. No excuses, no questions asked. being in my Bible app for an hour. I love that Bible app. There are podcasts in there, classes, videos, discussions, quizzes. You can read the Bible in there, of course, but it's so interactive that, like, I just love it. I love the Bible app. I always forget what it's called, but I do put it in the description box underneath the video, so you can check that out. Journaling for 20 minutes or more every morning. I call it the brain dump, where I get up. These past 3 mornings I've been getting up and grabbing my journal, set my alarm on my phone for 20 minutes, and I just start writing. It don't matter what come out. Like, I just need to get whatever was about to start churning that morning. I put it on a piece of paper, and then I get up and start my day after prayer, of course. But yeah, 20 minutes. I do that for 20 minutes. And if you can't do it in the morning and you need to do it at night, do it at night before you go to sleep and get some of that out for you. Especially for y'all who don't really talk to nobody. I find that very helpful because I don't be talking to people either. And my last one, which is like the reason why I really wanted to talk to y'all today, other than I needed to make a video, but I don't like to just make videos about nothing. But fasting once a week. So today is August the 1st, and I decided I wanted to fast today to set the tone for the rest of the month. But in conjunction to that, I want to start fasting every Sunday, and just get to a place where that becomes a normal part of my life again. And I'm just wanting to really center God back in my life, like in the center of my life, not being, wherever I put him. So fasting. So I'm actually fasting today, and the only reason why I'm telling y'all that is because by the time you watch this, I will have already completed my fast, because it's only for one day. I'm only drinking water today. No food, and so yeah. Usually you don't tell people you fasting, and I need to get back into fasting. I fasted a lot when I was younger. Let me say that over. I fasted a lot when I was in relationships. I was always fasting. Like, I learned how to fast when I was in church in Florida. The church I went to in Florida, those pastors were amazing. They taught the Bible. Like, they didn't do no God's gonna do it, God's got a blessing, slap your neighbor and tell God that, God is, God blessing you all the time. Every minute he's blessing you. Like, he ain't the genie that we try to make him out to be, where it's like you rub on him and he give you $1 million. Like, that ain't him. You supposed to have a relationship with God, and it ain't no way to have a relationship with nobody if you don't sit down and get to know them. With that being said, our pastors in Florida, my pastors in Florida, him and his wife, when I say powerful, I haven't set up under that type of word or pastoring since I left Florida 8, 9, 10 years ago. When I moved to Kentucky, I started going back to churches that, I ain't trying to talk about nobody churches, but they were more prosperity preaching and just talking about, God gonna bless you. You got a blessing coming, and y'all, he get the church hyped up and let him leave on a good note, but he ain't never really talking to you about your sin and making sure our whole church was tithing, and we was out in the community helping people do things. Like, our church went beyond the walls, but first he got the church structured in the way that the Bible wanted it to be. He got family structured, like, through his teaching. And so fasting stuck with me, and I started fasting not only on a corporate level with church, but in my own life. And so when I got into relationships, I started fasting for different aspects, different reasons while I was in the relationships. My second relationship, with my youngest daughter's dad, I was fasting a lot. I had just learned how to do it, and I was really like, I'm going to fast to get our relationship on track. You know, we wasn't even married, and I'm over here asking God to do things for me in that relationship that he do for people who married. So that was tying his hands and just crazy. But my third relationship, I fasted because my boyfriend had cancer, and I was fasting, would fast for him periodically. He didn't even know. I didn't tell him like none of that. I don't. Me and him didn't go to church and do nothing like that. So if he had a relationship with God, like that's just something he had on his own, and I kept mine to myself. I think like we probably knew we prayed, but as far as us like praying together, going to church together, we didn't do that. But I did pray for him and fast for him. My fourth relationship, the one that I just got out of like a couple years ago, I fasted. We was married at one point, and I was fasting for my relationship, even when we weren't married and we didn't live together anymore, and we were still dealing with each other. I was fasting, thinking, asking God to turn it around, and you know, God, do this for us, and God, do that, and God, can you do this? And I'm fasting for that. And you know, really, sometimes God don't want to change the situation. He want to change you. He needed to change me, right? And then you could change the situation. Like, let me release you from bondage, and then you could leave the situation alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything ain't for him to put back together. I know he brought Lazarus back from the dead, but he he don't have to bring everything back from the dead. I'm too far off. So yeah, fasting once a day. I'm sorry, fasting once a week. Um, is my goal for the rest of the year. I want to close out the year stronger than I brought it in. I was already on a path of just like this year gonna be me and God, and I definitely want to close it out like that. Like, I'm scared to even try to date somebody because I don't want them to become a distraction, and it ain't gonna be their fault, it'll be mine. um Most of the time I was fasting in the past, it had to do with a man. It really didn't even have nothing to do with me, you know. So these times forward, moving forward, when I fast, it's gonna be behind me wanting to build a relationship with God and Jesus, and being more sensitive to the Holy Spirit, and just getting to know God even more. I don't think he's somebody that you gonna ever really fully know. So there's no, say, if you don't even really know your spouse or the person that you laying next to, and you spend a whole lot of time with them, how much you really think you know the Lord? So I'm dedicating that time to just reset. Today is my reset. You know, like I said, I'm fasting today. I'm just drinking water. But my fasts that are going to be in the weeks to come on Sundays will be from 6 in the morning to 6 at night. So I'm gonna do it. It's almost like a sun up, sun down, but you know the sun don't go down at 6 o'clock. But I'm gonna do a 12-hour fast every Sunday and just reset. So to give you just a broad scope of like what I do when I'm fasting, first of all, we know we ain't eating, and I'm not getting on social media, because I know they was fasting from food in the Bible, but they didn't have social media either. And social media can take up a whole lot of your day and take up a whole lot of your time, and be a super duper distraction if you don't have no kind of discipline to get out of it. I'm speaking from experience. So what I wrote down, I'll share some of it with you in my journal. I prefaced it with Mark 11:24, and it says, I tell you, you could pray for anything, and if you believe that you've received it, it will be yours. And while I don't have anything specific that I'm asking for in this prayer, the broad theme of my prayer of what I'm asking for. I said, Lord, as I begin this time of fasting, I ask that you fill me with your strength. Help me to use this time of growth, renewal. Help me to use this time of growth, renewal, and healing. I'm asking you to calm my anxieties about anything. I trust you when you say that you will supply all of my needs according to my will. I'm believing in my future, and I know that it is covered by you, and I'm going to spend more time with you for the rest of this year, knowing that my life will remain in overflow. I finished it with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And I asked him to show me any areas where I need to forgive somebody, because that is the main thing you want to focus on when you go into fasting. Is like, who do you need to forgive? And ask the Holy Spirit to bring them forward, and he will. Because ain't no sense in you going over here asking God for a whole bunch of stuff and do miracles in your life, and you ain't even forgave nobody. Like Mark 11:25, if I'm not mistaken, right after he says, ask and it shall be, he tells you need to forgive right after that. So people kind of leave that out. They like to focus on what he gonna do for you, but it is something that he requires of you too right after that. So yeah, fasting ain't nothing like a big production. It's between you and him. You don't even supposed to tell anybody that you're fasting. That's why I don't mind to share this with y'all, because it's only one day, and so by the time you watch this in the future, I will have already fasted. But as far as like my daughter or my best friend knowing I'm fasting, I ain't really even on the phone with them today. My phone on do not disturb, But yeah, just being still. My days look like when I'm fasting. What my days look like when I'm fasting is I'm alone, of course. The times that I would spend eating like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm definitely praying, worshiping him, or reading my Bible during breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, you wouldn't be sacrificing nothing. You're sacrificing when you fast. So I'm just drinking water, and I'm just keeping my mind on him. When my mind wants to go off and think about this or that or this or that, I bring it right back to God. And I say something like, God, you make all things beautiful. If my future is in your hands and you make all things beautiful, I don't have nothing to worry about. And that's how I overcome those thoughts that want to trickle off into trying to figure something out. He makes all things beautiful. I just worship him for the things he's already done. I worship him for the things that he's getting ready to do. If my brain gets to wanting to do all of that. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. Like, fasting is just drawing deeper into his presence. I want to go deeper into his presence. I want to get rid of the distractions in my life and make my life real quiet for the day and just think about him. I don't want to scroll through social media. I don't want to talk on the phone. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to spend my time outside, listening to the trees, looking at birds. Like, that's stuff I already do. But yeah, I wrote down a couple of things that fasting means to me. Is trusting him to do for me what I could never do for myself. Enjoying his goodness, gazing on his beauty, depending wholly on his power. Like, I have no power. I have no power to get through the day without eating. Yet I trust you and the Holy Spirit to get me through it. If I had to lean on my own power, then what would I need to call on him for? That's why he says, if in your weakness, I am strong. I need you to be weak so I can show you how strong I am. God, I am nothing. I can't do nothing. Nothing, not a thing without you. I just want to express my love for him during this time. I don't want to use this fast to be begging him for nothing. Everything that I feel like he might need to do for me, he already knows that. We've already talked about that. So that's not what this fast is about. You can use a fast to repent. Um, you can use fast for other people, expressing your concerns for loved ones or friends, situations, seeking his guidance, to strengthen your prayer line with him. So it's different things that you fast for. It ain't always for, God, I got a bill I want you to pay for me. God, I need you to bring this man back in my life and make sure we end up married. Like, no, that ain't what this fast for me is about. And I ain't making fun of nobody for fasting about anything, because I done had all kind of different fasts for different reasons and motives that didn't have nothing to do with him. But I thought I could present them to him. If I fasted, I could slide it by and make it seem like it was. Anyway, I'm gonna spend the rest of my day. I already got up and wrote in my journal for 20 minutes. um, I've already worked on my book for 2 hours. I've been out here probably an hour. And I'm just going to spend some more time just quiet and in his presence. Probably take a lap around here. You can walk around here and just be still. Today I'm just being still. Peace, be still. And know that I am. You know? There's nothing to worry about. Calming the flesh down and telling the flesh, like, hey, this don't have nothing to do with you today. You chill. You can go a day without eating. Promise. Promise. I'm feeding spirit today. And every Sunday I'm feeding spirit after this. Every Sunday I'm going to be feeding my spirit. So yeah, what that'll look like for me will be water that whole day, and no social media. And you'll be surprised what fasting does for you on a cellular level. If you ain't always throwing food down your throat, it gives your body a chance to use that energy to clean up some other things you got going on. But that's a whole nother video, because I love to talk about the body, especially holistic stuff. That's my passion. Anyway, y'all, I'm out of here. I just came on here to share my goals with y'all this week, and my goals with y'all for the month. Kind of do like a reset. I started my fast today. I started in my fast today, so I won't eat until tomorrow morning when I wake up for breakfast. I'll eat breakfast. So I'm not eating today. I'm just gonna use those times that I would normally eat and pray and ask for strength to get through to the next hour or the next moment, and just really shut my flesh up today and really focus on God today. I owe him that. I owe him that. He's done so much. I owe him that. So yeah, I'm out of here, y'all. I will talk to y'all later. Have a good day.